right. You got something to say. Now's the time to say it. When it comes to Enbridge and their Line 5 replacement tunnel, welcome back to the conversation. Glad you're here on a beautiful Wednesday here on the Steve Gruber Show. It's the public comment period. And the question is, if you want to comment on this, what I think is a brilliant plan to replace Line 5, which, by the way, has never had an issue, but people wanted it replaced. So Enbridge stepped up and said, here's $500 million we'll put on the table. We're going to build this beautiful tunnel that'll not only move energy, but it can have fiber optics and communication lines. And by the way, when we're done, we're going to hand the keys over to the state of Michigan. Here you go. This is yours. Oh, and we're going to build it with Michigan labor and Michigan companies to the best of our ability. It was the package deal, and yet some people still fought against it. But we're in the public comment section of that conversation. Ryan Duffy is a member of the Enbridge Communication Team. He joins me now. Ryan, welcome back to the program.
Thanks. Good morning, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
Always good to have you. It's been a process. That's for sure. Taken longer than you would think. But let's talk about this public comment period. That's where we are right now. If people want to weigh in and say they love it, they hate it, whatever it might be, now is your time to speak up and be heard, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Say what's on your mind. We'd like people to do that. So we're talking here about the permit from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, EGLE it's called. And you might remember we talked about this permit a few months ago because we actually received this permit back in 2021. But now the process here with the Army Corps and its permit has gone on so long that now this EGLE permit we had is going to expire in the early part of next year. So right around the time we probably need it and want to start breaking ground and start construction. So we're renewing this permit, and EGLE is taking public comment on it right now. So last night there was a virtual public comment meeting. It went on for hours and hours. So a lot of good comments, a lot of good supportive comments from a wide variety of different people and organizations who back the project. There also, of course, were concerns raised, but that's the process working. We feel all that input is good. It makes the project better. And so there is still time now to submit a written comment over to EGLE before the comment period ends on the 29th. And we do have a link on how you can do that right at the top of our page, enbridge.com/line5. So we put it right up there at the top, made it easy. You click on the picture of the tunnel, and you can go right over to EGLE and submit a written comment.
So there you go. You can go right to enbridge.com/line5, and you can put in a comment, weigh in. All right, so you mentioned EGLE a couple of times there, reviewing the permit. So this is interesting because the Army Corps, they slow walked this thing. I think that's fair to put, and not an insult, just they slow walked it, and as a result, the permit that was already in place, it has an expiration date, so that's going to wind out. And meanwhile, it's strange to me, we've talked about this a number of times, Ryan, there are still people like the governor and the attorney general still trying to push back against this tunnel, which I don't see. What is the downside of having this tunnel to replace Line 5 so we can move energy, communication lines, things that we probably haven't even heard of that'll be invented in the future that can use that tunnel, right? I mean, what's the downside?
Well, right. We don't see one. This really is the best solution. I mean, if your goal really is, as a lot of people have said, to deactivate the existing pipelines on the lake bed, we really feel like this is truly the best solution. And a lot of people agree. It has a lot of support because this makes sure we continue to have that energy we need. And almost all of us are using energy and using it every day. So it makes sure that energy continues to be there when you turn up the thermostat or flip the light switch or want to go up north here on the last vacation of the summer, that you can do all those things. That's what makes it possible, this energy that we're getting from Line 5. So we're going to continue to have that energy, but it really also steps up the environmental protections. And we all very much care deeply about our beautiful state and the environmental resources that we have here. So we want to protect those, and the tunnel really does it because it eliminates the chance you're ever going to have any kind of release into the water.
Yeah, I do prefer that when I flip the light switch, it works. I do prefer that. There's no question. Where does the Army Corps decision stand right now? It was When I say slow walked, it was because, I mean, a number of years ago, they said, well, we'll get to it by 2026. So we're closing in on that. But will we have a decision in 26? Will it be the beginning of the year, middle of the year, late in the year? Where are we on all that?
Right. Well, that's what the Corps said. And we did apply for all these permits back in 2020. So it's been quite a process. The Corps, though, did put out that draft environmental impact statement at the end of May. So that was a big milestone, a big step moving us forward. So the Army Corps has been getting a lot of input from a lot of different people, but that draft EIS to us, it really does look solid. It's thorough. It assesses all the potential impacts you could have with construction and then operation. There were a lot of public comments coming in that draft EIS process about how the project will create a lot of good jobs. It's going to increase demand for all the local services and supplies you're going to need in the construction process. And it's going to really protect those coastal communities, the Great Lakes. It eliminates the chance you're going to ever have any kind of release. So it's clear from that draft EIS that the significant long-term benefits from the tunnel project really do outweigh any kind of short-term and really manageable disruption that there might be to the environment in the construction area.
Right.
So the Army Corps has said it will likely be making a decision as soon as the fall. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, that would be exciting. All right, so once that happens, whether it's the fall, spring, whenever it happens, what's your timetable? When does construction start? I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind boring machine, right? Each of these are one-offs, are created for whatever environment they're putting a tunnel through or boring through, right? So you got this one-off opportunity. How long? A year to build this thing? 5 years to build this thing? What's the timetable?
Right. I mean, this is a once in a generation kind of infrastructure project. So it takes a lot of planning, a lot of third party review and oversight. So it's a process. It would likely take about 4 to 5 years to build the tunnel because you do have that massive tunnel boring machine that'll move through the Straits. And it can only go as it's boring the rock about 40 feet a day. So it moves slowly through there, drilling the rock out of the way, pushing it back out the back of the boring machine and putting up the thick walls of the tunnel as it goes. So it alone, the boring machine, would take about 2 years to get through there. So it's a 4 to 5 year process. We want to get started as soon as we can.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's been a process thus far. Ryan, I greatly appreciate it. By the way, there is an information center up there when you cross the Straits of Mackinac. A lot of information up there. About 20 seconds. Tell the folks about that.
Right, downtown St. Ignace. Anyone's invited to stop by, learn all you want to know about how we're going to build the tunnel and how we're going to do it safely. It's right at 214 State Street. I was there just yesterday. It's been busy. A lot of people coming in, a lot of people learning about the tunnel.
Good. All right. And again, if you want to get your comments, if you want to speak up and be heard, enbridge.com/line 5. It's still the public comment period. You can get your comments on the record, pro, con, or somewhere in the middle, whatever it might be. Ryan Duffy, always appreciate the update. Keep the faith. Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks, Steve.
There you have it. Again, enbridge.com/line 5. You can put your comments on the record forever and ever. When we come back, Ivy will be here, of course. It's the Steve Gruber Show.